I made this beautiful little cake out of Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, and I'm going to show you how. I'm Sydney, the Wildflower Mama. Thank you so much for watching this video. I start by unwrapping 5 Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies. I start by using a cookie cutter to shape each cookie into a perfect circle. This step is optional, and I have decorated a mini cake without shaping the cookies first. And I did find that decorating the cake was much easier this time, having all of the cookies the same size and the same shape. You can make your cake shorter if you like, but I would not recommend going much taller than 5 cookies. Things really get out of hand very quickly when you go taller than 5 cookies. You'll also need a small cake board. I'm using a small acrylic cake disc from Cake Safe. I will have it linked below the video. Don't ask me what happened to all of the oatmeal cream pie cookie scraps. Once you've made your small tower of cookies, place the cookie tower in the freezer for about 45 minutes to chill. This will make frosting the cookies a lot easier. I'm decorating this cake using an ombre effect with buttercream that I had left over from another project. If you need a good buttercream recipe, I will have mine linked below the video. Since there's already cream filling between each sandwich cookie, I'm only adding a small dollop between each layer of sandwich cookies. I don't want there to be too much frosting in between the layers, just enough to keep them together. And since we've already frozen our cookies, that's going to help the frosting set and really hold this cake together. I decided to alternate the colors in between the cookie layers to match the colors that I'm going to use on the outside of the cookie cake. The food coloring I use is the best food coloring in the whole wide world. It's made by The Sugar Art, and I will have it linked below the video. I also use the Sugar Art for luster dust and edible glitter. To achieve the ombre effect, we're going to pipe our buttercream around the outside of the cake before smoothing it down. I recommend using colors that are all within the same color family, like maybe different shades of blue, maybe some different analogous colors. Analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Something that's going to look nice when they start to blend together. Otherwise, if you're using colors like green and red or orange and blue right on top of one another, they're going to blend together and start to look brown or black. Like I said, the colors I'm using were left over from another project. They sort of reminded me of a night sky, so I decided to go with a galaxy theme. Once I'm finished frosting, I'm going to speckle the outside of the cake with some luster dust and then spray some edible glitter on there as well. I do recommend using a piping bag to apply the buttercream to the cake. This is just going to make it easier, keep your sections of color nice and separate, nice and tidy looking. Once you've covered the whole cake in buttercream, begin to smooth down the top with your offset spatula, then take your cake scraper and begin to smooth down the sides. Make sure that after every few passes around the cake with your scraper or your spatula, that you are cleaning off your scraper or spatula to remove all of the excess buttercream. That way you aren't reapplying old buttercream and dragging old buttercream around the cake. Also, after every few passes around the cake with your spatula or scraper, be sure to fill in any gaps or holes in the frosting, and then use your scraper or your spatula to go back around the cake and just continue this process until you have a nice smooth layer of buttercream frosting. This could take several passes around the cake to achieve a perfectly smooth buttercream finish. One thing that really helps with achieving a smooth buttercream is before you even put the buttercream in the piping bag or before you apply it to your cake, make sure that you stir it several times with a spatula to eliminate air pockets. And once you have stirred your buttercream for several minutes, either in a mixer on the low setting or by hand with a spatula, and you've noticed, that you don't have any more air pockets, then you may proceed to frosting your cake. Otherwise, you're going to have tons and tons of air pockets. You're never going to get a smooth buttercream, and you're going to go crazy, and you're never going to want to decorate a cake ever again. I am using this handy dandy, super amazing color solution from the Sugar Art to apply my luster dust as a splatter paint effect to this cake. The result is a smooth, quick drying, shimmery, beautiful splatter paint effect. The luster dust that I'm using is called Blue Pearl from the Sugar Art. It is a pearl colored luster dust with a blue tint to it. I thought it would go well with the blue colors in the buttercream. The brushes I'm using are also from the Sugar Art. You could use any sort of paintbrush. I'm just flipping the bristles towards the cake, and that's creating the splatter effect. As I said in my last video, I have a problem and I cannot finish a cake without adding edible glitter or edible gold or some kind of shimmer to it. So I am using the Rainbow Diamond Dust from the Sugar Art in a small pump bottle to finish this cake. And then I'm topping it with some white sanding sugar sprinkles. There you have it, another super quick and simple to decorate cake that you could make on pretty much any budget. Watch me almost cut all of my fingers off trying to cut this cake. It was a little bit frozen still when I was cutting it. I would suggest letting it sit out on the counter for maybe 20 minutes before you start to cut it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. See you next time.